Hey everybody, Jared with Ductless Plus once again. It's been a while. I just really kind of want to go over the Mitsubishi template and how we set up doing these in a basement. A lot of guys will not put a ceiling cassette in a basement. They're a little afraid of possibly not having the height. That is kind of an important thing. You do got to verify that the joists are tall enough. But remember, these machines are very shallow. They're only a little bit smaller than 8 inches, okay? So they're not quite 8 inches, or 7 9/16, I think. But I want to show you guys how we set up the template and what we do. First of all, if you look right here on the feet pattern, it has it. You're going to want to set it up on the way that it's going to be orchestrated in the ceiling. So it shows you the refrigeration valves, the drains all on this side, and then obviously the electrical boxes on that side. It kind of has a smaller little description down here. So this is actually the way you want to have it when you put it on the ceiling and mark it out. So if you look here, I also want to show you guys another problem that we had. Come on over here, cameraman. If you look right here, there was a 6-inch pipe in this joist bay. So what we actually did is we cut the pipe out. It went into a boot over there on the far right, or on the far left side of that hole, and there was a boot. But what we did is we got some custom duct work there, some 3 1/4 by 12-inch wall stack, and we basically removed the pipe that was in the way, and then we cut it into the duct, and then we end capped it, sealed it all up with duct sealant, and then we ran it across the top. Don't be afraid to do this kind of stuff. Get your customer a ceiling cassette. Wall units are tacky, they take up wall space, and you know, a ceiling is an unused canvas. So again, back to this. I want to show you guys how to use this. So check it out. If you look, you're gonna find and locate with a stud finder, and then you're gonna put your template up. And then what you do is, see how it fits right there? You trace it out. You get your trace out done. Then what you do is you cut it out. Then what you're gonna wanna do is, if you look up here a little bit, you're gonna see that how this lines perfectly up with that little, you're gonna see how it lines up perfectly with that. So what we do is, we're gonna get our marker, we mark it right off where that foot's gonna line in there this way. And then it lines up perfectly, okay? So you make your line that way out, and you do it on both sides, right and left. Then you pull it down, you bring it over just like this. Look guys, this is easy. And then you draw your line that way and this way. And you do that on each side, and it makes it dead perfect, okay? Then you can do it one of 2 ways. You can use a Sammy, like we did on this one, or you can just paddle bit all the way through and put in the all thread and a nut and a washer on the top. I feel like we use the Sammys on this one because it makes it a little bit easier for us to drop the all thread in instead of having to try to tighten it because of our height issue. But just make sure that you use the template, you put it up in there, you triangulate it, get your little pinpoint mark, and pull it down. It will work perfect for you every single time. And then what we do is we just stub in our refrigeration lines. You can kind of see this is a 2-zone unit. So we have one going in there and the other one going right in top. And then again, there was a 6-inch pipe right here. I'll guarantee you, 99% of the time, technicians will see that pipe and go, oh man, there's nothing I can do. You're absolutely wrong. There's nothing you can't do. Always keep that in mind, okay? So cut the pipe out, cut it back a little bit, make an access hole. Don't be afraid to mess up some drywall. You know, you gotta find a master team. If you wanna be really good at this trade, you gotta have a master team. You gotta have a good drywaller, a good painter, a good handyman that's gonna be able to take care of the little things like this or that repair that you don't got time for. Get your mechanical system installed, do what you need to do what you're good at, and then have your guy follow you up. Get a good electrician, get people that are gonna help you be better, okay? So again, don't be afraid that there was a 6-inch pipe right here. Look what we did. And then you just simply run your control wire over, drop it down on top of the bridge. I call this a bridge. And then just have your wire there ready to go, have this here ready to go. And then all you do is right there on the feet of that machine, you see them right here, boom, on all sides. It's basically gonna slide right up in there. So basically you're gonna have two guys, you got one guy hook it on one side, the other guy push it up and slides it on. That's actually why they're slotted like this with this deep part. You're supposed to slide it all the way back on one side. That'll give you enough room to push it over and in and center it here, okay? So this is just a quick video. I do want to show you, we have a finished one, it's over here. We already got this one done. We were a little bit more lucky on this one, but this one also had its own challenges. You're gonna run into a situation where the joists are just really tight. In this particular one, the joist was really tight. We barely got this one to fit. And you gotta be careful. You don't wanna modify or cut the joists or anything like that unless you're okay to do that structurally. Or what we do is we'll get a 2x4 and just make it a little bit bigger than the unit, and we'll hammer it in there and we'll kind of stretch the joists out just a little bit. So just remember, there's always a way to do this. Come on outside, I wanna show you the end product, what we did outside here. Cameraman, watch your feet. Cameraman never dies. Always remember that. That's one of our fans. So if you come back here and look, this is the unit on the left. We're using A and B port, C port we're not using. And then look in here how the lines look. See how we came out of there? We drilled 2 separate holes. Looks really nice. And I actually like to drill your holes behind the unit so that when you're looking at it, you don't see it. And then just bring your pipes over and navigate them in. And remember, you got A and B, be careful how you wire it. Everything's labeled up down here and down there on the ports. I always start from the bottom up, A, B, C. But we're getting ready to power this baby up and do our evacuation and everything. Here's where you hook up to do your pressure test. Don't ever go here or here. This is where they do their refrigeration charging and testing at the factory. Here's your king valves. There's really not much to these machines, you guys. They're pretty simple. Do a good evacuation, use a micron gauge, especially when you're doing your pump down, fill it up. I really like these regulators here. If you look at this regulator, it's pretty sweet. It's got a test, a purge, and a braze, and then an off position. But I really like this one. It's handheld. You can just put it off and on by your hand. You don't need to get a wrench. You know, spend good money on good tools because it's gonna make your job better. And also you're gonna be able to perform better on your installations. You're not gonna have to do as much work if you have higher quality tools, okay? I really like these Navac gauges. A lot of guys are doing those digital ones. What's nice about the Mitsubishi Ductless, if you're doing a DSB, you don't need to worry about all the, you know, the superheat subcooling and all that. You don't, as a matter of fact, that's not how these machines work. These machines work off of a weigh-in charge only. So make sure you measure your pipe. Make sure you get your piping distances and check it on your rating plate. Look right here, it tells you. It'll tell you your refrigerant. This is a 410A. There's 8 pounds, 13 ounces. If the liquid line exceeds 98.4 feet, then you got to add 1.08 ounces per foot. 5 foot. Oh, per 5 foot. Whoopsie. Cameraman never dies. Hey, anyway, so just be cautious of all that. But that's why you do a DSB. You don't have to guess. Just do a DSB, punch in your line set distances, and you're good. But if you know you didn't exceed this 98 feet, we know we didn't. One of these line sets, I think, is less than 8 feet, and the other one was about 35 feet. We're solid. We don't got to worry about doing any kind of alteration whatsoever on the refrigeration charge. So just do your homework, learn about the product. I really don't guess anymore. I just do the DSB. I do my line set measurements. We run our pipes, we hook them all up, we punch it into the computer. It says, hey, look, you ran X amount of feet, you need to add this much, or you don't need to do any field charging. So just be careful. And also, if you're under that amount, you don't need to alter the refrigeration charge. You don't got to take gas out, you don't got to take gas in, nothing. Just leave it how it is. You're solid. Anyway, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys.
Ductless Plus, #1. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. You got my information on the internet, or you can leave me a some kind of reply in the video. Thank you guys. Have a great day.